trouble sometimes, because they have to learn how to hunt and they have to learn how to be dead still from tip nose to the tip of their tail. And very, very often the twitching of the tail is there, I guess, through excitement or anticipation, and very, very often because of the markings on the tail being white. It's normally a female leopard will be able to signal to her cubs to stay put without even having to verbally mention anything to them. That just by the position of her ears and the movement of her tail, she's able to tell her cubs to stay put for her to go and hunt somewhere if she's with them and she needs to hunt. I don't know, it'll take a while to sort of mull through what the evolutionary advantage of it would be. I guess there has to be some, otherwise it probably would have become redundant. But it is certainly all got to do with flag signaling and communication between individuals. I was just thinking before, while you were still with Scott and Mvula, I was just thinking that it might be somewhat confusing for some viewers in that we are with two leopards. Very seldom we have this opportunity to switch from one camera to the other when we've got a leopard on both cameras. And, well, my name is Marc and I'm with Kunyuma. Scott is up on Buffelshoek cut line up there on the boundary with Mvula. Go right. Copy, thanks. Sounds like the entire troop of baboon have actually made their way back to the dam. Someone from... Joe, you're welcome, Ryan. Just behind the schedule on my right. It's quite amazing seeing the look on people's faces, because I think there is anticipation when they're coming into a sighting, and they can't quite see it yet, especially because he was lying down, he was flat, so it wasn't really evident. But as soon as he sat up, it was wonderful to see that recognition on people's faces when they saw him for the first time. Kind of renews the energy and renews the joy of why we do what we do. I moved back where we are now, although we're sort of seeing him from the back. He might roll over, we might be lucky. I just wanted to give guests the opportunity of great camera shots. It's great that he's letting us come in to view him like this. He does get a little bit stroppy from time to time, this little boy. He can get to a point where he doesn't tolerate the vehicles very much. He's not as tolerant as his sibling, Quarantine. Thank you, little boy. He heard me, turned around. Copy that. Let me just go a little forward, get this teak out of our way. Get the twitching tail back into camera view. And I know it can be a little confusing, but we are going to switch to Scott with this one's father, Mvula, and I'll see you back in a little while.
Welcome back, and I hope my plan's going to work. We've just got into position in front of a termite mound, and I'm almost certain he's going to creep up and peek his head over it. Come on. This is potentially going to be a great shot. Where is he? There he comes. Beautiful. So, you'll notice he's a lot larger than his son Kunyuma, who would lack that very thick flap of skin below the throat, and also his ears are notched. His face tells a story, whereas Kunyuma's son is still fairly flawless. Go ahead, Bernie. I'm not too sure. Aubrey said he was chasing some animal. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was warthog. So possibly that. But interestingly, I did see tracks of another large male heading north on Drakensberg Road from Central. Yeah, affirmative. It'll be interesting. I'm still with him, so I'll keep you updated if he comes across anything. Well, wasn't that a great view? And we got lucky again. Let's see what will happen if we continue. I'm not sure where we are at the moment. We could decide to head to Buffelshoek Dam, but I think we're a little bit further east of that now. Beautiful, this area, and really lucky to be following him through it because it's not too thick, so we've got these little avenues that we can find to loop ahead of him, and also this way, if there is any game around, we'd be able to see it and stop before chasing it away. So, ooh, now here's a serious termite mound. Is he going to go up this one? Let's try and get into position and wait and see. still going over here. Okay. Well, what an afternoon it is. A father and one of his sons. Okay, BM spotted him. Just trying to think where we should wait. Just going to go a tiny bit further forward. Apologies for the wait, but we are going to get a great view again. We just need to be patient. Just got a question from Julia in Houston. Good afternoon, Julia, and welcome. Julia is interested to know whether the male scent marking also smells like that of the female, and that is a smell like buttered popcorn, believe it or not. And yes, both male and female have the same sweet buttered popcorn smelling scent mark. Quite bizarre, but it is the case, Julia. Now, Lisa's interested to know how far Kunyuma and Mvula are away from one another now, and they're basically on opposite corners of the property. We're in the northeastern corner and Marc's in the southwestern corner. So they're very far away from one another at the moment. And I'm not even sure exactly where we are now, but we are far away from Kunyuma, that's for certain. Just got a question through from Sherry. Afternoon, Sherry, and welcome. Sherry's interested to know whether Kunyuma and Mvula would ever come to blows, and not up until now, no, they haven't, but it could well at some point happen because Mvula may become less and less tolerant of his sons, which he would be kind of obliged to do, because that way it prevents them mating with their sister or their mothers. So it could come to a point where they do fight, but up until now they haven't fought and actually been seen interacting fairly recently. I think there was some footage from October last year that some people kindly provided me with today of him relaxing with quarantine. So that's just 6-7 months ago, but we haven't seen them together much since then, or at all since we've been filming. It would be certainly interesting to see what happens now, because it has been months since they have met that anyone's seen. Okay, it looks like we are approaching cheetah cut line on our eastern boundary. So let's see what he decides to do. I did have tracks of another large male coming into this area, and wouldn't it be interesting to see a clash between male leopards? It's something I've never seen, and something that gets very rarely documented. But who knows? That could happen this afternoon. And only by staying with them will we ever be able to find out. So that is what we shall do. Sorry, Leon. Liam's trying his best to show you as much of Mvula as possible, but it is difficult when I'm driving. We will be popping out into an open clearing now, so depending on what he does, if he stays heading south on it, we're going to get some great views. If he crosses over to the east, we will not be able to follow him. But for now, let's see if he doesn't go up this termite mound. Hold on. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. And he's just decided to lie down so close to us, really indicating how relaxed he is with our presence. And aren't we so fortunate to be viewing such a naturally shy and elusive animal that is now allowing us to see so much of what it does. And so few people get to see this, get to follow leopards, see them move like we have got to see him move this afternoon. So we should all consider ourselves very lucky to be experiencing this. Not to mention that Marc's with his son on the other camera. I mean, can you believe it? Stations Mvula is now on Cheetah Cut line, I think close to Gwari Road, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, he has been on the move for quite a while now, and before we even got to him, he was on the move, so he's certainly entitled to a break. And I wonder what he's going to get up to next. I'm just going to try and creep forward a little bit. I don't know if you can do anything with what's going on behind there. But what an incredible cat, and I'm so happy that you are now being able to, by switching between this old dominant male and one of his sons, you can really notice the size difference between them. And I wonder what Marc and Kunyuma are up to. I'm sure Nikki will give me an update shortly. Okay, well, you'll be glad to know that thankfully Kunyuma is not doing anything serious and he's fast asleep, so you're not missing out on anything there. He's fast asleep in the grass, and it appears that Mvula is providing a little bit more of a show at this stage. And as Vim zooms out, you'll notice that we're experiencing a absolutely beautiful, beautiful evening here. And well done, Vim, for that great camera work. And he's up again. Is he staying on the road, VM?
Yeah.
Staying on the road. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful. Now what we're going to do is, we're just going to loop ahead quickly, and that way be able to reverse down in front of him, a trick that I'm sure of you are now aware of, and it's one that I love doing. What we'll do also to start with is maybe just coast alongside him for a while. This is an opportunity that we don't often get. Quite smooth, unobstructed road running parallel to another road, and thus being able to give you the impression that you're pacing alongside this leopard on his evening patrol here. And what an evening it is, and so glad that VM did show you that shot of the sunset ever so briefly before Mvula decided to wake up and continue with his business. Now, if we're very, very lucky, we may even hear him vocalize. It's a loud, rasping sound, almost like somebody sawing through wood. And that would be the cherry on top of the cake. Just going to loop ahead now and get onto the road. Not sure what got his attention there. He stopped quite abruptly and then continued to smell one of those bushes. So it could be that there's another male in the area, or who knows, maybe a female in season that he's trying to track down. But he certainly is moving with purpose, and we're about to have another incredible view of him walk past us. I hope I got one half-decent picture out of all of those. And here he comes, just meters from us. And it looks like this may be the last visuals we have of him. He's veering off down a track where we cannot go, but what a beautiful finishing it is going to be to the sighting, watching him drift out to the east. And again, he continues to scent Marc now. What a privilege it has been watching him. Okay, you're not done with us yet. Fair enough, we don't mind extending the show a little bit for you. We thought you were going to carry on and disappear down the road there and be days before we see you again, but no. He's laid down to show us how a leopard hunts flies. That appears to be what he's trying to do. So even though he hasn't come across any other leopards or hasn't caught any prey, at least he's showed us how a leopard goes about dealing with flies. And now he continues. Well, we have just about covered every angle you could want to. We've had every view imaginable this afternoon, and most of which beautiful golden sunlight bathed him. So well done to VM. He also did some great work on camera. Well, it looks like we're going to see him do one last scent mark before he continues down that road. Well, what a way to watch him finish this afternoon's sighting, just disappearing down that long road, and what can I say, it's been an absolutely incredible sighting, the longest sighting by far that I've ever had with Mvula, and by far the best. So for me, it's the number one Mvula sighting I've had so far, and I loved every second of it, and I hope you did too. Now, the good news is, even though one leopard is gone, Marc is still with another leopard, so